You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
Well, he's back. In a report from Matthew Belloni, Michael Bay is going to be directing a brand new Transformers movie. In the article, he states that Bay approached Paramount Studios last year to come back as a hands-on producer and possibly director, and he's got writer Jordan Van Dina, hope I said that right, working on a script. Now, the Bay movies were never received well critically, but they always did perform really well at the box office, and with the last two movies underperforming in comparison to them, I guess Paramount sees it as a surefire way to get the franchise back into the mainstream and start generating money with it again. And in terms of the past few live action movies that we've gotten, I did really like Rise of the Beast, but it didn't have that same cinematic flair that you would get in a Bay movie. In those movies, the bots felt larger than life. I remember being in awe whenever a transformation would take place on screen. You can say whatever you want about Bay's writing, because I'd probably agree with you, but the bots were so much cooler in his movies. The only exception I'd give is the Bumblebee movie, because I thought the bots were really well done in the opening Cybertron scene, and even some scenes on Earth as well. I thought the action in that movie was pretty good. I loved seeing how the Transformers were incorporating their alt modes into combat as well. I remember a scene, I forgot the Decepticon's name, but the blue helicopter, when Bumblebee was fighting him and he got thrown away and transformed, and then transformed back into robot mode to punch him, similar to the G1 intro. I really loved that scene. I love stuff like that. But to take a look at these two transformations in comparison between the Bayverse movies and the Rise of the Beast movie that we got not too long ago, and so let me know which one you think looks better. Now, with that said, just because I want Bay's flair for cinematography to return does not mean in any way, shape or form that I want his style of writing to return. And also his weird designs for the Transformers. We all remember what Devastator looked like.
I am directly below the enemy scrotum.
The humour in the Bayverse movies would take a lot of attention away from the Transformers, because we get a lot of human day-to-day in life with characters like Sam, like when he went to college, when in the third movie he was looking for a job. It feels like it's a completely different film than what you'd go into the theatre to see, because at the end of the day, what people want to see is robots fighting one another, and not a human drama and whatnot, because the whole idea of movies at the end of the day is to get you away from that everyday life. Now, some movies do focus on that and do well at it, but for a Transformers movie, I feel like you want to be more, like I said before, larger than life with them. But you've also got to wonder, what will this movie actually be about? Could it be a continuation of the Bayverse from the last night with Unicron? The only problem with that I could see is that the newer movies like Rise of the Beast are starting to go down that Unicron route, because we saw him in the last movie. I think having two separate live action universes, similar to what may be happening with James Gunn's DCU and Matt Reeves' Batman universe, will be confusing and repetitive if they're both going down that storyline. And when I first saw the headline, I did think this might be for the G.I. Joe crossover movie that Paramount is working on, because I remember in the original movies that Bay really leaned heavily on the military aspect of them, so I felt like that would have been a good fit for him to get back into the fold of making these movies. There were also the rumors circulating a couple months ago, so worth bringing it up I guess, that Bay would be coming back to do a sequel to The Last Night with Shia LaBeouf, Megan Fox and Mark Wahlberg, but I doubt they have any relation to this article, because when that happened there was no credible source to it, and I think people were spreading stuff online and it's gained traction for some reason. Because personally I think with how much time has passed since The Last Night came out, and with there being no real demand for it, like say a Snyder Cut or something like that, that Paramount wouldn't be interested in doing a sequel to The Last Night, especially with that movie being the reason that they entered this, they're calling it like a soft reboot movie, but it's basically a full reboot of the Transformers movies. We did get some hints at some other movies that may be coming out for Transformers, such as Josh Cooley, who directed Transformers 1, is going to be working on a live action movie, and I'd love this to be an actual Cybertron based movie. I know that's what Transformers 1 was, but I'd love to see it with the designs from the Bumblebee opening and having a whole movie set like that. I don't know if that would be possible though, because I feel like that would cost a lot of money, and with the place Transformers is in right now, you don't know if that'll be a worthy investment or not, and if they'll get any return on it. They also said that there are 2 other secret movie projects that are currently in the works. Now this reminds me of when they were planning a Transformers cinematic universe right around the time The Last Knight was about to come out. They were gonna have the Bumblebee movie be a direct tie-in to the Bayverse movies. They were gonna do, I remember reading something like a World War II fighter pilot movie, I think. I might not be remembering that correctly, but if you want to see a video on the cancelled movies they were gonna do, so let me know and I'll make one. Now I'd love one of these movies, or both of them even, to be very character focused. Like I'd love to see a movie based on Megatron when he was in the pits of Kaon, being a gladiator going through the ranks, and how he overthrew the old guard. Even though he wasn't a gladiator in Transformers 1, we did basically get that in that movie. So I don't know if that would happen, but I think it'd be cool to see it in a live action again, similar to what Bumblebee looked like. But anyway, back to the topic at hand of Michael Bay returning. Overall, is it good? Yes and no. Yes, in terms of financial success, because Bay seems to have a way of creating a good popcorn blockbuster flicks for people that get them coming into the theatre and spending money, but when it comes to the actual heart of the story, he does miss the mark by quite a bit. If I was in charge, I should adapt the Skybound comics that are coming out at the moment. I think that's the best way to do it, because that has a brilliant balance of the bots and the humans, while still giving the Autobots and Decepticons as well actual personalities and motives. But it's nice to be getting some news on the Transformers movies in any case, because for a while it was seeming pretty dark, because we got the news that Transformers 1 wasn't going to be getting a sequel, and the only rumored thing that we had was the Transformers and G.I. Joe, and we've not had any concrete news on that in a while. So it's nice to know that they are working on stuff. This Michael Bay movie, I'm not sure how to feel about it. The only good thing for me that could come out of Michael Bay returning to the franchise is bringing back Steve Bolonsky to do the music for the film, because nothing can beat the soundtrack he did for those 5 movies. But hey, at the end of the day, we're still gonna have to wait and see what happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.